Welcome to a brief tutorial video on Life Plan Part 4. I wanted to share with you guys how to do this lesson. So in the rubric, it asks you to create a 20-year table of growth using the future value function. You're doing a monthly balance in over 20 years, and you need to include a graph. So if you come into this text, look at question number 11, follow these basic parameters and do question 11, compare it to the answers to see how you're doing there. If you can get these values, then you know you're on the right track with a graph that looks very similar to this. So let's jump to Excel. Here in Excel, basic, we have time, your interest rate, number of compounding periods, your principal amount, your payment amount, your rate of growth, and the number of periods invested with your future value function. So interest rates are pretty low for savings accounts. It's usually 1% or less. There are 12 compounding periods. If you're going monthly for 1 year, your initial investment, $750 or whatever you would like to use. You want to contribute $50 each month, and we're going to do an interest rate as a formula. It is going to be equal to your rate or your interest divided by the compounding periods. So B2 divided by C2. Your number of periods is just a formula as well that is going to equal 12 times your year. For 12 months in a year, after 1 year, that's 12 months. After 2 years, it'd be 24 months, and so on. If you want to save some time and not enter in these by hand for 20 years, then you would highlight this first row here from your R to your N per, go to the corner. You can either double click here or drag it down. As you notice, there's a little green square in that corner. If you put your cursor on that and then drag it down, you'll see that green square expand. And bam, does the whole entire spreadsheet without you having to do any calculations. If you look at your formula, this is year 10. 12 times 10 is 120. 12 times 10 is 120. So it copies that formula, and it copied this formula all the way down. This is the exact same, 12 or 1 divided by 12. Come up to this column and row. For your amount, you're going to enter in another formula, your future value formula, that is equals FV for future value. Your rate, it's all here in the blue, right? Rate, N per, payment, present value for your principal amount, same thing, and 0 is the investment, goes to the end of the month. Close parentheses. That calculates it after 1 year of investment. Every month you would donate $50 to this savings account that started with $750. You can double click that down, fills there. Now, if you want to, you can highlight this last column, go to the bottom corner and create a graph. That's one way to do it. Or you can come up to Insert and go to Recommended Charts. I like to use the line chart. You can use a scatter chart if you want. I typically do the line chart. And I like the values there. So I'd encourage you to play around with this. Change your interest rate. Maybe go all the way up to 8%. Change that column. And look at how this graph grows. It looks more exponential. Obviously, it'll be really interesting finding accounts that give you 25% return. If you did, then it'd be really, really exponential. Typically, like I said, it's less than 1%. Maybe 0.8% is what you'd get on a typical savings account. And this looks a little bit more linear in its progression. So Play around with this. Maybe look at if this was actually your savings account and you have $500 in there and you can contribute $50 each month. After 20 years, that would grow to $13,500. Again, compare it to the question number 11. Insert these values. This is 6%. 0.06 is the same as 6%. So look at doing something similar to this and see if you can get the same values. And if you can, then you know you're on the right track. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep up the great work. Have an awesome, awesome week.